Hello, how are you? This is Anthony Gray of Grayscale. I haven't did a tutorial in a little while. I think I'll do a quick one for today. I'm gonna do a silhouette of Bat Guy. Um, Interesting background. It's not gonna be too terribly long process. All right. I'll probably end up speeding up this part. I got them covered with 2-inch masking tape. I did a quick sketch of Bat Guy. All right. And I'm gonna cut around him, make a mask of him. Then I'll do some kind of abstract, strange background with my favorite paint and alcohol stuff. Okay, so let's get this going. Well, the character as this, who's mainly in the shadows and mainly covered in black, he'd have to have such a striking image that you instantly know who it is. Okay, he's such an iconic character. It's just the key elements that you would have to see to recognize who it actually is. One being that cape, the ears, the cowl, and his gloves. All right, and whatever instrument that he uses to fight the evildoers. It's usually shaped in the form of a winged mammal. All right. So this part, the masking part, obviously as you can see, is already done. Okay. The next part that I'll do, I'll take the board, place it on my rack, and we'll get to the fun part. So, be right back. Welcome back. The next part is going to be vastly entertaining. I'm going to use a very watered down mix of black and the rubbing alcohol. Try to get some kind of a crazy pattern going on. Now after I do this, I'm going to have to definitely let this dry. Okay, I'm going to have to let it dry fully. Alright. Now I'm going to coat it pretty good, but it has to be thin enough so when I put the alcohol on it, it separates. Okay, hopefully I've sealed him pretty good. I don't really want a lot of runoff. If I get plenty of runoff, then I'll just reverse or silhouette him the other way. But if I can get away with a white silhouette, that would be even better. But we'll see how it plays out. Because not all the time does something like this come out perfect. But that's kind of the beauty of the thing. Like I say, this will be kind of a quick one. We'll see. It will not be a totally black and white painting. Alright, but I just want some of the patterns to be in there. And then I'll just put a little, see some of the pulling, it kind of takes out away some of the color. That's okay. All of what I'm doing is fine. Because once it fully dries, I'm going to go over it again one more time. See where it seeps in? I just don't want too much of that going on. Seeps in here. But if it does streak in the inside, then I'll just have to cover them in black, which is fine. I kind of wanted a reverse image. If it doesn't work, that's okay. If it seeps in a little bit, then I can mask it with titanium white. I can just cover right over it. And if I do that, then I'm going to have to cover the whole thing in titanium white, his whole image. Which, once again, that's okay. Alright? No big deal. But basically, it's just watered down acrylic and rubbing alcohol. Alright? And as you see, as it dries or whatever, it kind of spreads apart, does what it does. And all that good stuff. It's still relatively wet. Wait till it dries. I want it to be an even deeper black than this. It just turned out to be gray. And so I'll let it fully dry. I'll come back, go over it with another coat. Then I will add bits of color onto this and we'll move on from there. So I'll see you in a little. Okay, we're back. All dry, ready for yet another pass. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure these seams are kind of tight. They seem to be all right. We're gonna do another pass. This time much thicker with the ink. All right. I really wanted some real darkness to flow through in here, in patches, you know. And we're gonna do it again. And I'll let it pool, let it do what it's doing, let it dry. And I'll probably go over it with a lighter, one of the glow colors. Once it's fully dry, I'll glaze over a lot of that with the glow colors. Okay. Then I might add little specks of black, pure black ink into it, maybe. Or I can take my brush, where I have it right now. Actually, I should do this with the glow colors, really. I might do it with the glow colors. As a matter of fact, that's what I really want to do, is mess with it with the glow colors so it can shine at night. I have an idea that I'm going to do. So I'll be right back. Let me clean this brush off and clean this plate off, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, that only took a few seconds. I'll put that right there. Glow paint. I'm not going to water it down. Don't need to be. But this is going to make a little mess. Just take it and just splatter it in places. Of course, I just got it on me. Good chunk of it too. Make sure you wear some old clothes when you do stuff like this. Alright. But I just want to put it in places. And just let it spittle and splatter all over. Alright. At night, I don't know, it looks like stars, look like whatever. But it's going to glow, look crazy. Okay. But this is kind of the image I wanted in the first place. The more concentrated the glow paint, the brighter the glow. Alright. So it'll all even out. It'll all it even itself out. Alright. And while it's doing what it's doing right now, I can maybe play around with probably some red. Red or pink or something. Put into it just to add more interest. And I might do that with the glow paint also. I got it right underneath the board itself. So instead of shutting off the camera, I'll just pick it up and get it out of there. Everything's kind of set right here anyway. Maybe a little mixture of the pink and the orange. See, are you still in focus? Are you still here? Yeah, you're still right there. That's cool. Alright. I'll take a little bit of pink. Alright. And plop it right there. This orange is really thick, really concentrated stuff. It's a deep orange too. It's fairly thick stuff. Okay, it is really thick stuff. Alright. And I'll take this mix, I'll plop it right in together. Okay. Stand away from it for a little bit. And really just, now it's all on my wall over there. I gotta get that up before it dries. I don't really want to water this mix down. Okay. There's certain areas I want to get. If I can aim it towards some of those gaps in there. Of course, it's not going to do it, so I'll cheat and just put a couple little spots in there. Some in there. Got to be a little concentrated than that. A couple of them in here. That. But something like that. Alright, I have really got to go over there and clean that up. That's why I got the, I have a huge schmuck over there covering the wall. And of course, doing what I'm doing, it misses the schmuck entirely. And it goes right for the open area. And I did it perfectly. If I wanted to do that on purpose, I'll miss every time. Hit the schmuck. But that's alright. When you're doing art like this, it's bound to happen. Okay? So I'm going to let that fully dry now. You got chunks of paint. Especially this orange. It's going to take a little time to dry, but I got a heater. I'll turn that on. I'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll continue on. I'll put this back on the board, and we'll go from there. Hey, what's going on, guys? Okay, I had to wait quite a while for this stuff to dry. Alright, to an acceptable level anyway. I poured some black into my little tray, put some water in it, and now it's time to, still too much gray, gotta darken it a little bit. And I will splatter on, with a toothbrush, some gray or some black, just to darken it up in some areas. Okay. Kind of a messy undertaking, but it's okay. You gotta, when you do splatter, you're gonna get a mess, for one. Two, wear something old, because it is gonna get messy. And I still need that contrast, but I don't want truly solid black. Alright, you don't want to really go over too much of your need more water, or your glow paint. Alright, not too much. So I'm just splattering here and there, especially around the edges. I could have used another brush, a bigger brush. But just in little spots. And if you think everything's going to be covered with the glow, it won't. The more the light shines on it, it's going to glow through some of that black anyway. So don't concern yourself really too much about that. It's not going to happen. It's going to take a little more black than that to get rid of a lot of that. And you just keep going over it. Okay. Your finger end up looking like this. That's alright. That's what towels and tissues are for. Okay. You're going to get messy dealing with the splatter effect, no matter how much you try to clean yourself off. Alright. I'm going to use my right hand. Do a little bit more of this, because my finger's tired. But I do want to really, the closer you are, the more control you have of it, the more the splatter. Okay. Basically, kind of like physics, you know. Maybe even down in here, where I also got to keep in mind that his cape and cowl, depending on how it looks when I'm done with it, it may be, I might do a reverse, where he would be, his image would be in white, or I'm just adding more water. I really didn't need to. Around his head a little bit. I really didn't need to dip it into more paint. It's so saturated with paint on this thing. Okay. And it also shadows in his head. Alright. That's mainly what I wanted for him. Alright. So that's done. I'll just dip the brush into water. Rake it across the little bucket and just wipe it off on the towel. Okay. That's about it. It's not too hard to clean off the brush. Just don't use the brush you're using for your teeth, alright? Okay, now that that's somewhat done, let's take this tape off and see what it looks like. Same premise. just be careful because you know you get the paint that you do have on here. The black is fairly all I'm doing is cut piercing through the opening of the his little ears. Not necessarily the best way if you know you got a character or you're doing something where the tape is a little on the thin side. Not really the best way to take it off. Matter of fact, I don't want to really rip it, so I'll go from the other side. Now you have to do kind of a pull thing because you saturated the paper pretty good, so just be very careful. And I'm going to show you what I meant by the bleed through. Different layers of tape. When the gets too saturated with paint, liquid, you're going to get kind of there we go. You kind of a bleed through going on, so just be mindful of that. Be careful. Toward the other side. So, like I say, if it's not too bad, I'll keep them silhouetted. If it looks kind of crazy, then I'll just cover them in black. But I got to take the whole thing off, look at it, and see, you know, how it looks really. I got a feeling I'm going to be silhouetting this guy in black. We'll see. I got to totally look at the whole thing. When it gets to his ears, be very careful. He got his arms and his little cowl, or his little bat boomerang or whatever he's holding on to over there. Just be careful. Some of it can be still pretty wet when the where the tape overlaps the other tape. Just be mindful of that. Get rid of some of that. What you see me peel was actually some of the paper. Now this part, be extremely careful when it gets to his ears, because you don't know how much of the paper is going to come up off of his ears. So a little bit came up here, but that's fine. That can be remedied. A little cut and just peel away the paper itself. Go into the character itself. Don't go on the outside. Alright. But as you can see, with the reverse image of this guy, you pretty much know who it is. Alright. I necessarily don't have to put him silhouetted in black. If I did, it would make him, yes, a little more mysterious than what he appears to be anyway. But also, if I took, let me get rid of this knife. If I take the paint off, the paint tape off, the white border would mesh in to what you see here. Alright, and all I would have to do really is just to cover up, you know, the lines, a little bit where the paint comes through. And when it really totally dries, just cover up the marks. Like I say, a solid white will take care of all of that. Okay. I don't remember if I put any tape in the back of this or not. I just have to see real quick. So while I'm doing this, a short tutorial anyway. Let's see how bad the edge is. If the edges aren't too bad, then I could probably get away with it. Depends on how much work I really want to put in with it. So far, the lines seem to be quite crisp. Let's go up. Of course, the paint will, or the knife will cut away some of the, when you cut across the tape, cuts across the border tape, that's alright. Also, one of the hazards of doing stencils. But I look at the total overall picture. I'm trying to see if I got, yeah, it is tape on there. Alright. So I'm still checking. Yeah, it's not going nowhere. I got tape back there. Alright. As I'm looking at it, I'll step away from it a little bit. Just keep looking at it here. I do believe I can probably get away with just the, if I keep the border all white, I can possibly just get away with it, just keeping it like that. I'm looking. I probably would. I think it's a very interesting image. It doesn't have to be really super detailed. It's just the background that's getting all the attention. And plus, with the orange and the white glowing stuff, it'll show up pretty cool at night. Even if you frame it, you still have a little bit you can play with on that area. So what I'm going to do is let this totally dry, and I will get some pure titanium white, and I'll probably cover all of that up, or just paint the whole thing, frame it all in white. Okay, let it dry and call it a day. So that'll probably be a little bit later on in the afternoon. I do have to let all this paint dry. When it's all when you have paint that's like in concentrated little teardrops, I'll say it that way, it's going to take longer for it to dry. Alright, and I'll take it off of here, let it flatten out, even out, and I'll go over it with some titanium white, probably a couple coats, and do the frame, do the whole thing, and that'll be that. It'd be a nice quick little image to do, something to just get my little flow going and all that good stuff. So something quick for me to do, show you another way of doing masking. Okay, I'm just having a little fun, little glow paint, put it in there a little bit. If I really wanted to, I could make, like little bats flying around or something crazy, if I wanted to really go that far with it. As far as signature, I'll probably have it hidden in here somewhere. Maybe in here somewhere. Doesn't really matter. I doubt I'll do anything with this. Might give it away. There we go. I might give it away to somebody if I do another one of the live streams. If the people got a child, male or whatever, they're into the bad guy, I'll mail it to them. No big difference. And like I say, once it's all totally dry, so I'm gonna set it somewhere and let it dry, and I'll go back over it with white and I'll post it and let you see what it is. Total the total look of it. Once again, thank you for checking this out. It was a ball, and I'll see you again soon.